Well, good evening and welcome to Friday Night Blitz post-game. Ray Halbrook here from Livestream STL, and I am not in my office. We are actually still in the booth here at Herculaneum High School. Had a little change on some of our duties from some of our crew. Appreciate our crew. Had a sickly crew member, so we are here at Herky High School. We decided to stick around here at the press box, and appreciate Jason Gilman allowing us to do that here, the AD here at Herculaneum High School. And we are going to get things started right away, and we're going to talk about the game today here that happened out at Herculaneum. The Grandview Eagles come from behind and win 14-7, and I'm going to have Coach Jason Kimmenaugh. Jason Kimmenaugh, he's actually on the bus, calling us from the bus. Coach, how you doing?
Doing all right. Doing well.
You take a look at how things are going with a lot of different things here, and like the important thing is not how you start, it's how you finish, right, Coach?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we came out in the second half very well.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about your thoughts about the game as a whole.
Yeah, for sure. We had some guys not playing and some different things in that, and just different scheme things that we had to plan out for this week. And then Herky did a nice job, kind of showing us a different look we hadn't prepared for, and so it took us some time to adjust to that. Offensively, defensively, again, our guys just kind of flew around and it kept us in the ball game in that first half and that slow start, and then really settled in the second half and shut them down and let us kind of take the momentum back. And so, just a great all-around effort from our guys.
Yeah, and you guys made a great adjustment in the second half there. Brought in big 75, Mr. Walker, and was able to kind of bust it up the middle a couple of times. And he broke one for a touchdown, and then a little late touchdown, and then it was just shut everything down late. When did you know that you needed to make that adjustment?
Yeah, I know we just got a little stale in what we were doing offensively, and so Isaac's played that position before, and so trying to kind of move guys around and put them in positions where they can succeed, and he did an awesome job. He hadn't practiced that all week, and so we just kind of threw it at him, and I mean, he took the ball and hit the ground running quick, and that really was the spark we needed to start the second half.
What's it feel like being 4-2 on the season?
I'm sorry?
What does it feel like being 4-2 on the season?
Good. Obviously, you got to feel good about something like that. We play in this really tough conference in my mind, top to bottom. There's no gimmies anywhere along the way. And again, being in a school with not a lot of guys, just natural wear and tear on their bodies. Guys playing both ways, every snap, offense, defense, all that stuff. It takes a toll, and so it feels good to be on the positive side of the win column at this point in the season.
Right. Who do you guys got next week?
We have Jefferson at home.
Jefferson at home. There you go. Well, congratulations on the big win, 14-7 over my Herky Black Cats.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate you having me.
Hey, appreciate it. That is Jason Kimmenaugh from the Grandview Eagles, and on the bus. Hey, now we take them however we can get them, so it is kind of is what it is there. You're seeing some of the schedule scores here as we take a look at a few things here right now. Pattonville there, 14-13. That's a good one there. Crystal City, 16. Roosevelt, 14th. Hillsboro, 43. Windsor, 8. And then I'm going to run these again, and because we have this on radio as well. So let's run this one more time while we wait for another coach to show up here. Our Friday Night Blitz triple header. Boy, we had some good games at Grandview and Herky. We had Festus along with North County, and then we had Eureka and Rockwood Summit there. Festus beats North County 24-0. Eureka 29, Summit 7. DeSoto 24, Fredericktown 13. Perryville 42, Jefferson 28. I believe that's not an update. That should be 35 there for Jefferson. Bayless and St. Vincent there, 47-17. We do not have a score from St. Pius and Cuba. Fox 49, Northwest 7. Seckman 14, Pattonville 13. How about that? Roosevelt 14 against Crystal City 16, and so on and so forth. We take a look into our game here at Herculaneum was Herculaneum, they actually had the lead for most of the game. Punched it in early to make a 7-0 lead real early, and then just there was whole lot of stalemate, play going on. But then later, second half there, we saw a ton of adjustments on both sides. But the adjustment that made the difference caused a lot of havoc for the Black Cats, and Grandview comes out with a win, 14-7. As we again are getting updates as we speak as well. Do us a huge favor if you haven't done so, like and share this. If you're on Facebook, if you're on the socials there, like us or follow us over at all of our socials there at Livestream STL. And then also, if you're not aware of what's going on here, some brand new things here this season here, we are on Roku TV, and we are also on our website, livestreamstl.tv. That's where all of our games will be from here on out. So make sure you bookmark the livestreamstl.tv website, but also download the Roku TV channel. And we're also looking to add a mobile app along with Fire TV and Apple TV as well. And it looks like I have Matt Bates jumping on the line here. Matt, can you hear me? How's it going?
I can hear you loud and clear, Mr. Ray.
Yeah, we're just eating up a little time here and talking a little bit about our new Roku and website here. So, give us a little update on the Festus North County game there, Matt.
This was, and for those of you that get to watch the replay of this, as I mentioned to Drake during the game, this was death by 1,000 cuts. The Festus, oh man, where do I start? The Festus offense. We've talked about things like week in, week out, like continuity of your offensive line, continuity of your defensive line. Festus has not had to worry about any of those problems all year, and that showed tonight. The continuity of that front line on the offensive side created holes all night for Essien Smith, for Lawante Williams. Yates didn't really get to impose his will like he normally does, but tonight, 2 words: Mason Shermer.
Yeah.
The night he had, if he's not our MVP for the week, a person single-handedly, like he knocked Brady McClure out of the game. The North County quarterback had over 10 tackles tonight, was used in a lot of blocking formations tonight to give other receivers chances to get out. But they brought him in key 4th down situations, 3rd and long, picking those up on the offense. But the will that he was imposing on the North County Raiders tonight, and as I told Drake, whether he had the ball or whether he didn't, he was hitting just as hard.
Yeah.
Again, another night where he had probably over 10-plus tackles. But this was, by all accounts, like a Dick Butkus kind of performance where you saw one guy take over, change a game. He did that on defense tonight in spades. But you had Parker Perry comes in for just a couple series, completes 1 pass tonight, has 1 TD. It's 95 yards.
Yeah, right.
I mean, talk about a tough day at the office, right?
Right.
Essien Smith, I mean, I would say up until you saw Shermer in the second half imposing his will, Essien Smith, it was kind of like his either player of the game, MVP to lose. His pass is right on target. But so Festus gets the ball to start the second half. So quarter number 3, North County kicks off the Festus. North County doesn't touch the ball until 4 minutes, 14 seconds left in the 3rd quarter.
Wow.
It was like a 7.5-minute drive that stalled actually it was a 4th down on a 4th down play. It was like one of the few that got stopped. They didn't punt all night. Luke Wacker had 7 points tonight. He had 4 extra points and a field goal.
Wow.
Yeah, banged out about a 30-yard field goal tonight. Collectively, he had more points than North County did all night.
Yeah.
North County, they were without one of their better running backs with Cook, number 35. He was out. So they relied on Lashley. We saw him in the Hillsborough game. And another back that they used, Whitfield, we did not see him incorporated as much in the Hillsborough game, but it was basically Lashley and Whitfield becoming that 1-2 punch. But they rolled out a kid, Jesse Johnson, a number 28, who I hadn't seen him really in much of any of the other games. And I'm telling you right now, like I told Drake, it's like a pitcher coming in when you're down like 13-0, and coach throws you out there, but it's to see like what can you do, what can you give me, and he goes out like strikes out 9 guys, and you're like, whoa, wait a minute. So this Johnson kid came out, racked off some decent yardage, but it was just a stifling defense and a stifling offense to where the offense, Ray, I think whatever hangover anybody thought they were going to have with the Hillsborough game,
Right.
that went by the wayside, because right now this is just a train gaining momentum. And like I even told Drake at one point, I go, these guys are right now where I thought Hillsborough was at last year, when you saw this train rolling that you didn't think could be stopped, and it didn't really matter who they were putting the pads on against. Because right now, Festus, I think, has that capability. Again, like with that third quarter drive, it was like we could use a whole quarter, score, may not score. And as I told Drake, I go, watch this next series. They're going to come out, and they'll probably take care of it in one pass or one play. And sure enough, they did. It took 2. But because that play got called back because of a penalty, next pass, Perry throws it right over down the sideline. Lacey runs for 95 yards. So this was a formidable game for Festus, as I really thought North County was going to give them more of a fight, and they just shredded them.
Absolutely. Now I'm working on something here real quick, so my apologies here real fast. But
That's all right.
As we see some other coaches
but I can tell
jump
you
on
right
as well.
now, pretty much, I think Mason Shermer was in probably every other tackle.
Wow, there you go.
Yeah.
Excellent. 24-0 Festus over North County as well. So as we...
Oh, it was 31-0.
31-0. Okay, that's what I was looking for, the update on that. So Jeff is texting me as we speak. I'm kind of surprised he's just not jumping on here as well. So 31-0, our final score there at Festus. And I am working on there we go. Let's do that instead. That'll be a lot easier. I'm so sorry. There we go. This is what I was trying to do. I was trying to set this up to go side by side.
Gotcha.
So anyway, so, obviously Mason Shermer on homecoming. We had homecoming over here as well. There was homecoming, I believe, over at Eureka as well. And it seemed like homecoming was definitely the bling for most of these schools in the area here. So big homecoming win for Festus over North County. Let me put you on hold real quick, because I have Coach Brent Roth coming on with me. Coach Brent Roth, I have you in here, but I don't really see you all that much, but I do hear you. You there, Coach?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm in a truck. I probably don't. Can't
That's okay. That's okay. Well, we'll trust me when I put up the graphic that says that we are talking to Coach Brent Roth here. But another big win for the Perryville Pirates. Take us through it, Coach.
Yeah, it's a big game for us. Jefferson's a quality opponent. We had not beat them. I hadn't beat them as a head coach since joining the conference, and it was we were up. Or I guess we were down 21-14 at half, and came out, got the ball in the second half, and drove down and tied it up. And then it was kind of a back and forth affair from there. Had the ball there at the end of the game, down on their 6-yard line, with about a 4th and 3 or something like that. And we tried the field goal and failed. And then we were up by 6 at that time. So then they had the ball with about 35 seconds to go, something like that. And we were able to hold on and get the win.
Coach, take us through that second half. We were watching the back and forth scoring, and we saw that with Jefferson last week as well when they played Bayless. It just became a slugfest, and both teams, Bayless and Jefferson, they can be a shifty team there. How were you able to counter and stay into that game?
I think really just a credit to our O-line and the way Barrett Wheeler ran the football. We kind of wore them down. Got some big chunk runs, and then Cade Lucky was able to complete passes when we needed to. We didn't completely get away from the passing game offensively. and just kind of it was just a great football game. Our kids played really well. They played hard, and were able to finish a game which we hadn't done well all year. We kind of got lackadaisical in the final minutes of games all year, and this one we were able to hang on and finish, so it felt good.
Excellent, excellent. Who you guys got next week?
We got Alton Marquette out of Illinois.
All right, there you go. How'd you pull those guys?
Well, with our conference realignment, we kind of had an open week 7 late, and we just tried to find anybody we could, and this is what came available. So don't know much about them. So we've got to get in the film room this week and prepare for another week.
Excellent, excellent. Well, congratulations on the win. You guys are 5-1 now, right? Am I correct on that?
Yes, sir.
The 5-1 Perryville Pirates. How about that? Well,
yeah,
Coach, we appreciate it.
We've heard that one, huh?
Yeah, right. There you go.
Good.
Ride the wave. That's all I can say. There you go, Coach. Thanks again for being with us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Coach Brent Roth being on the line with us in the truck. So we've had the bus and we've had the truck. Now I've got Coach Adam Sims coming in here. Coach, my friend. There we go. Adam Sims, how you doing?
Pretty good. A little better this week. We got the 22-20 victory.
There you go. I was kind of keeping an eye on the game, and take us through the game. Let us know how things went.
It started out good on our end, and we had a few drives. Landon DeRusse had some big plays, some big runs on special teams, and then when he got the ball on offense, he just had a heck of a game. And we talk each week about we feel like we have a good game plan, and we have tough competition, and that's a good ball club across the field over there. But we felt like coming in, it was just a special week. We had a good week of practice, and our kids they're battling, and they came out with a victory. It was 22-20. We kept it close. We had some drives where they had the ball down there close to their end zone, getting ready to score a touchdown. We had a couple big stops, and I couldn't be more proud of the way our team reacted tonight. We got some stuff that we need to work on for next week, but we're going to take this one and our schedule, we keep battling, and this week we came out with a victory.
Well, there you have it. That's awesome. That put you guys at 500, right?
We are 2-4.
2-4. 2-4. Okay. All right. Good.
Yeah.
My apologies on that, but still battling hard and still taking a look at a lot of folks kind of just pushed you guys out. Oh, you guys aren't going to make it through the season here. I think you guys are going to make it through the season because we're already halfway through and you're still battling and you got a couple of wins. So how about that?
Yeah, and everybody in July and August, we got our full team and knew who our guys were late in the off season and in the summer. And it just, each week I keep continuing to tell everyone, these guys, they're ready to come. We get, they want to play football. They're working together. We're going to figure this thing out. We had a tough schedule. We put a tough job ahead of these boys to ask. It's a tough task for 15, 16, 17, 18-year-olds to come in and kind of work on the schedule that we have. But I couldn't be more proud of the effort. And, hopefully we get Duchenne coming next week. Hopefully we'll have I think everybody's healthy, and I look forward to, putting the game plan together and getting back to work with these kids. Cause like I said, we battled tonight and I think for the most part, everybody's healthy. So I look, like I said, it's just everybody left tonight. We have some work to be done, but we're going to take this and hopefully build off this and get ready for Duchenne next week.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, 22-20 win over Roosevelt, and congratulations this week, and good luck to you next week.
Thank you. Thank you for your coverage.
Appreciate you, Adam Sims, coming over here, and we are going to. I finally did get Jeff Whitener to pop in here, so I'm gonna. Before I do that, Brian Kaplinger popped in here real quick, so I'm going to bring Brian in here. Brian, my friend, You know, we really kind of thought that the Eureka Summit game was going to be a really close game. It didn't end up being that way. So take us through the game and let us know some of that great action that happened over there.
Yeah, I mean, going into the game, really thought we were going to see a top flight offense go against probably a top flight defense, and defense wins. I mean, that's just plain and simple right there. I mean, right out of the gates, Summit looked like they were going to be, a team to fight. They drove down the field, got to the 20-yard line, and Jack Berry just literally ripped the ball out of the running back's hands and took it 80 yards to the house for a touchdown to kind of just start things off for Eureka. And from there, they just were rolling. Their first offensive possession, they hit Craig Ringy for a touchdown, and that man is just kind of do it all. I mean, he does everything for this Eureka team. He had a couple touchdowns on the night, and then you mix in Kodak, who had 2 rushing touchdowns. I mean, I think the pairing of the run game plus just the balance of being able to throw the ball with Hobelman and his ability to not make mistakes. I mean, this young man is just clean with the football. And then you just give that defense the lead, and they're just unstoppable. I mean, they block a punt, get a safety tonight. I think that's 3 of the 5 weeks that they've had a safety in the books, a defensive touchdown, and then you come against one of the top passing offenses around, and I mean, you just stifle them. And it's not like they're getting these sacks and all of this other stuff. They're just putting pressure on the quarterbacks, making them uncomfortable, having to get rid of the ball a little bit more quicker than they want to. And so when you pair Ashby and McCullum, and you can't even forget about Funk in the middle of that defensive line, they just become a nightmare because they can shut down the run with them and their linebackers. I mean, Jack Albert made a ton of plays tonight as well. And then just that secondary is doing a great job of covering up receivers. And so where, again, we thought maybe would have been a weaker part to this defense, I mean, they're just stifling opponents. I think now they're going to be under 7 points a game on average for this defense 5 weeks through the season. And I mean, and they're still rolling. I mean, their tough test ahead of them is Lafayette because they've been matching kind of Eureka point for point in each of the similar opponents. But I'm telling you right now, the old adage is defense wins championships. And this Eureka team has a stout defense.
Excellent. And you had Todd Schumacher for week 2, 2 weeks in a row over there. He's always a treat to work with, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Fun. Love Todd. We're having a great time. We're kind of hoping for another competitive game, very similar to the Kirkwood game. But I mean, Eureka on homecoming night, as you mentioned earlier, they just came out and made a statement. They said, hey, look, we're here to play. We took you out last year. We kind of billed it as this bad blood game because 10-0 Summit meets Eureka in the playoffs last year, and Eureka ends their run. And you thought they were going to come back and have some words with them, but that wasn't the case. Eureka just shut it down and said, hey, look, this is our turf. We're going to play hard. And they walked away with a concise victory, 36-7.
Excellent. I know Coach Sumner, we've been trying to get Coach Sumner to actually call in on Friday Night Blitz postgame. He's a little shy, so I think sometimes, but we'll throw that out there for him again. And coaches, we've got the lines wide open here. I do have Jeff Whitener that's waiting alongside as well here, so we will. I'm going to put you on hold real quick here, Brian, and bring in Jeff Whitener. Mr. Whitener, how are you, sir? I don't hear you. I don't hear you.
I don't know.
Oh, there it is. There it was. There it is. There it was. I think we have a connection issue with an audio connection there.
Let me
so
get back
Jeff.
to you.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Nope. Why don't you get back with me? We'll do that. All right. Get back with me. I hear you in and out, and I'm going to bring Mr. Matt Bates back here real quick again. Matt, my friend, some of these games that we've been showing here, any game that's kind of poked out to you that was kind of like, oh well, I didn't see that game coming at all.
Well, I mean, not to toot my own horn, but I had called the Perryville Jefferson game kind of my hot mess to be on the lookout for. They showed up in spades tonight. I think honestly, probably the Grandview Herky game at 14-7. I'm gonna go back watch that just to see how close that was. Was Herky stepping up? Did Grandview take their foot off the gas? Because I was purely expecting, and hey, whatever happened happened. I thought really Wyatt Kime was going to run just like a track meet all over Herky tonight. Now the question I would have for you, Ray, did Herky focus on him? Could you tell they were making like a concerted effort to try to stop number 4?
I think it was a deal that they were focusing on the run period and did a pretty stout job of it for the most part, especially the first half. First half they were up 7-0. They scored on, I believe, the first or second. It was the second drive because they fumbled the first drive, but the second drive they were able to kind of march down the field and take care of business. But then it was let's hold on with our defense and hope that we can just win this game 7-0. And unfortunately, that did not happen. So second half we had it wasn't the Wyatt Kime show, but it was the Walker show, and I'm trying to remember his first name, but
Isaac Walker.
Isaac Walker, yes, and this kid is big. And he got the wrecking ball that looked like a bowling ball coming through some pins a couple times, and finally broke one for a touchdown to tie it. We thought it was going to tie the game, but it ended up they didn't make the extra point. So then they scored really, really late to kind of seal the deal and got the 2-point conversion. So it was a really well played game on both sides. It was very much ball control. I mean, very few passes, but it was. At the end of the day, Herky had a couple of turnovers late, and that was the unfortunate bounce that went Grandview's way, and was able to come out with a win for the Grandview Eagles. So I'll have those games up here probably first thing in the morning because I still got a breakdown here. So go ahead.
I saw the DeSoto Fredericktown game and the 25-point win by the Dragons.
Yeah.
Kind of stood out to me getting back on track again. But I was going to ask Kaplinger a question, and before we get too far away, if Mr. Caps can hear us.
There you can.
I can hear you. You're good.
Hey, so that big game this week here against Summit that I've heard a lot about them. How was their game, or how did they look against Kirkwood? Like, if you pitted the two, was that a bigger win for them over Kirkwood, or was it a bigger win or a statement win over Summit? Because I saw the way they took care of business against Kirkwood. That just seemed to be like a last man standing kind of fight to the death. Where when I see what they did to Summit, I was just like, okay, so what gave this week, and did Eureka just step their game up?
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I think the Kirkwood game's a bigger win for them. I think they're just a little bit more formidable across the board. Like, if you were to pit Summit against Kirkwood, and I was a betting man, I would say Kirkwood's going to come out on top of that game as well. Summit has a great offense. I mean, there's no denying their ability with Branscombe at quarterback. They've got a number of just solid receivers in Bell and Tiller. I mean, Tiller, who's the junior, looked really, really strong tonight. I think there's a sleeper in their wide receiver core. His name is Rowan Jackson. He's kind of third on that list. He's not targeted a whole lot, but seems to make big plays for him. They missed a couple of those opportunities tonight going down the field with him. But I really think, the bigger win was Kirkwood, but I think Eureka made a statement, because I felt going into this game with what had happened last year in the playoffs, knowing that Summit's defense is probably down a little bit, not as strong as it's been. And then you've got Lafayette looming next week for Eureka. It's almost like that pit sleeper game right here with Rockwood Summit, especially being home homecoming weekend, all of those things kind of combined, I thought it would be a closer game, and I thought maybe Summit could kind of, throw a wrench into everything. And so for me, I think, yes, it's a statement from Eureka here, to say, hey, look, we're not overlooking anybody. We're making sure we take care of business. Now they've got some work to do because they had some big personal foul penalties throughout the game that really gave Summit an opportunity to kind of gain some momentum periodically. And that was really how the 7 points came about, was because of a face mask and a couple penalties that kept that drive alive. And they ultimately got 7 points, in the second quarter. But outside of that, I mean, again, defense is legit there. There's no doubt. I would put them up against just about anybody right now because of that defense. And their offense is, it's solid. The run game is good. You've got 3 backs that they're rotating. I mean, obviously Kodak's the star back there. He's going to run over people and then just blaze to the end zone. But this kid, this sophomore Brandon Webb, is making a name for himself. I mean, he's got 40 plus carries on the year, over 100 yards. They're retooling in the midst of winning now with this defense. This is going to be a scary team.
Do you think Ringy's like, I don't want to call it like his coming out party for what he brings to the table, but with and we were able to get him an honorable mention last week on our Upon Further Review show. So just a tip of the cap to him and the performance he put together. Also, a guy kicking the ball. That's not something you often see as well too. So do you think, like, when people are looking at like your Larry Reeds, Hobelman, and then it's like, well, you get focused on Kodak, what goes on in the backfield, Ringy seems like the guy with the sure hands that gets kind of like lost in the shuffle, but yet he's open and does what he needs to do, which is catch the ball, don't drop it, put it to the turf, turn and go. Where it seems like a very point A, point B kind of thing, but it just seems across the board in games that we cover, so many kids can't put point A to point B together, and he just seems like the guy that, like, if I needed one big catch, might be just one over the middle, that would be the guy that I would make sure I target 45.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I mean, not just his versatility. I mean, you mentioned it. He's playing tight end. He's kicking. He's punting. He's returning punts. He's on the kickoff return. I mean, he's a jack of all trades. He does a little bit for this team in every way. And I even mentioned it on the broadcast. I don't know if he's paying the other defenses or what, but like, he is wide open, And I don't understand how you have somebody who's been this effective for this team over the middle and making big plays that you just forget about this young man. But to his credit, he just goes out and does his job. And I think there is focus in the backfield, and some of these linebackers and DBs kind of get caught up in some of the motion from Reed and the motion of Kodak and kind of the read option that Hobelman will have, that they forget about him kind of in that tight end role. And then before you know it, boom, here's 15, 20 yards. Or like tonight, he catches 2 touchdown passes because they just fell asleep, and he's wide open over the middle. And he is becoming that go-to target that you mentioned for Hobelman. I mean, a number of times on 3rd down, 4th down, and they're throwing the ball, it's going at him. The game plan is very, very much driven to find him either over the middle or on the numbers down the sideline.
Because that was one thing that I had talked about on the UFR show was, when we were just looking at the numbers and what he brought to the table. I mean, for a kid that had caught 5 passes and 3 of them were for touchdowns, I mean, I don't care if you're just reading numbers off paper. I mean, it stands out, and especially in a program like that you're talking about somebody that's got almost like a defined role, and his role is to just fly under the radar.
Yeah.
But yet we know across the board what you bring to the table. And I think that's a dynamic to Eureka that just, when you talk about how do we get to another level, I think it's using and implementing somebody like a Craig Ringy into your program.
100%. I mean, beautiful. I mean, it's a beautiful game plan. And I mean, not sounding too funny, but it is fun to watch, and it's beautiful when the play unfolds and you watch 45 standing there in the middle of the field. And I mean, there's nobody within 15, 20 yards of him.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy stuff there. Well, guys, I'm going to wrap you two up here real quick 'cause Jeff got back on the line here. So you guys almost gave away our other UFR game, our the show here. That doesn't happen until Monday now. So hang loose here, and I'm going to have Jeff jump back over here real quick. Jeff Whitener, let me get that out. There we go. Jeff, how you doing?
I'm all right. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you good.
That's great. A lot of good discussion there over some big-time games tonight.
Yeah.
Big win for Eureka. Looking down the score board here, it looks like games were a combination of either shutouts or shootouts tonight.
Yeah.
You either had very low, very defensive-oriented games, and then other games like the game I was at tonight, a very, very large score. Putting up almost 80 points in the game. I knew that Perryville coming in, as old Coach Dennis Green said, we knew who they were before the game.
We knew who we thought they were.
They were who we thought we were, and they certainly played like the bigger Class 4 school, much bigger offensive and defensive line, and the Blue Jays hung with them as long as they could and got into a shootout thanks to some great plays and great execution, obviously, by the usual suspects. Cooper Frisk, Landon Weiss, Logan Van Dieven had a big touchdown reception tonight for the Blue Jays. But as the game went on, and especially in the second half, when Perryville switched over to their running game and their big back, Barrett Wheeler, who's more of a bruiser, a bowling ball type, they were able to just wear down the Blue Jay defensive line as the game progressed. And you saw it also on offense too. The bigger line, as the night went on, the Blue Jays couldn't compete in that realm. They were faster. They executed well. They did a pretty good job of taking away the long pass from the Pirates, but they weren't able to stop the short passes. And once the Barrett Wheeler had a steam, it was all over. I believe he was accounted for 4 touchdowns tonight for the Pirates.
Yeah, we talked with Coach Brent Roth a little bit earlier towards the beginning of the show here, and we got Coach Rush Schmidt popping in here. We'll get to you here in just a second here, Coach.
I was going to say, why don't you go ahead and get Coach in there real quick? We can get back to me.
Yeah, we can do that. The problem is I hear him, but I don't see him here. Coach, are you on the bus?
Yeah, I hate this stuff when you're trying to do it on the bus. So
That's okay. That's okay. Hey, we'll take the soundbite over seeing you anyway. So, Coach, big win tonight. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, our kids played another game back to back. Opened up the game with a defensive touchdown, a scoop and score, and then from that point on, it was a close game in the first half. We hit a field goal going in at halftime. Josh Coliley hit about a 30-yard field goal to put us up ahead going into half. We get the ball coming out in the half in the third quarter and put together a 7-ish minute drive that culminated on touchdown, 2-point conversion. And from that point on, our defense put in years back and got after them, and we took care of things on the offensive side of the ball.
Wanted to ask you, what did we get for the final score there? Because I don't think we had that updated.
I want to say it was 45-20.
Okay.
I believe it was 40.
Coach, one of the things that I noticed when we came out to do your preview, you guys were working on a lot of your special teams and putting a lot of pride into the kicking game. And we've seen that pay off in the last 2-3 weeks here, correct?
Yeah, and the kids understand the importance of it. And one of the things that we kind of went back and revisited after the Festus loss was, tackling in space and doing things correctly in that manner. And tonight, it's like all of a sudden the switch clicked and light bulb went off, and we really played a physical football game tonight.
Excellent. Well,
Jeff
Whitener's got a question. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to check in, Coach. If you can hear me, you've been at this quite a while, and you've seen teams, certain turning points for teams. last week you were able to come from behind. You made some adjustments at halftime. You beat Windsor. And you've been at this while. It almost seems like, from a confidence standpoint, your team is starting to get over that hump and learn what it takes to really be a successful team and a winning team. Would that be a fair assessment?
Jeff, I think that's a fair assessment. I looked at him at the end of the game when you visit with your kids, and I didn't say nothing. I was a bit choked up because I'm seeing kids smile and have fun, and that's what this is about. And it's something that we're starved of here at DeSoto that they haven't enjoyed a lot of, and we're slowly getting things to where we want them, and it's going to become a process. We know there's going to be some low points, but if we continue to do these little things, and the kids are, they're buying into what we're doing, and they're working hard, and you're starting to see, like, the whole football IQ and how we're improving. There's just so much that happens during the course of a game that didn't happen last year that's happening this year. It's a direct reflection on what we do in practice and having a year with the kids that we didn't quite really have last year.
Excellent.
It certainly sounds like they're having fun there in the background, Coach.
I am not going to stop them. As much as it drives me nuts, I'm going to they're kids and they're not being disruptive as far as I'm concerned.
Tell your cheerleaders back there we hear them and they're doing a great job.
Okay.
There you go. Coach Russ Schmidt, thank you so much for popping in there. And where are you at next week?
We host Hillsboro next week at our place. We're looking forward to the opportunity.
There you go. Coach Russ Schmidt with the DeSoto Dragons. Thanks for chiming in and catching up with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, thank you. Coach Russ Schmidt there. And, we can't overlook right now the turn of events that's going on over at DeSoto. And I'm going to pop all of the microphones open here for all three of you guys. And I can't put all three of you guys up here, but I know Matt Bates has probably got something to say about the DeSoto Dragons, and I'm going to let him go ahead and say it because he was jumping up and down doing this. I did see that, Matt. I did see that. So, Matt, go ahead, my friend.
No, I was just adding my cheerleading in the background as well, too. It sounds like a cross between people breaking glasses and pan frying bacon right now. That somebody's signal is, but either way, it just goes back to like what you guys were talking about, and Coach Schmidt was talking about it as well too. And a 25-point win tonight over a tough Fredericktown team. Trying to get the sail back up on the ship to make things right. And I think right now that to me is like the best play that the Dragons made was getting Russ Schmidt back in there, putting him at the AD spot, putting him in there at the football coach spot. As Jeff had mentioned too, I mean, the number of years that this guy's put into Jefferson County football, I mean, you got to use fingers and toes like 3 or 4 times. And so, just letting the kids have their moment in the sun right now. Yeah. You know
Right.
what? You beat a Fredericktown team. You got to win. Hey, do what you want to do. Keep it civil.
Right. Absolutely. I agree with it. Brian Kaplinger's still on here too as well. Brian, your thoughts on the DeSoto this year?
Well, I mean, it's, what I'm watching. I'm not getting to see a lot of them live other than some of the replays and things like that. But, I mean, exactly what you guys have been saying. It just seemed like they're having fun. And when you start to have fun as a football team, you're going to turn the corner. Again, you've got some bumps along the way for them, but they're gelling as a team and they're coming together. And I think what we're going to see is a really good football season and a really good turn the corner for this program. And who knows what kind of noise they can make later in the season as they continue to gel together and just, again, have some fun. And it shows up on the football field. You're seeing some of the big plays, Coach talked about scoop and score, all of those things. Man, that has a way of really turning a season when you can find big momentum plays like that from your defense or even the big hits from your offense.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, guys, I think we're going to wrap things up here. It's 10:45, and appreciate all the coaches that did jump on here and be a part of this. I want to thank Jason Gilman for allowing us to stay here in the press box here for our Friday night post game. We will have everything updated pretty much. Jeff is probably working on that right now. I think he jumped off here just briefly here. We're hoping to have that up with the final scores tonight. We'll also have all 3 of our games from our triple header tonight. That will be all updated as well in the morning. So make sure if you're interested in rewatching tonight's games, you can on our website, livestreamstl.tv, and also over on our Roku channel on Livestream Make sure you download that. And we appreciate that. So we're going to wrap things up. Well, thank you so much for being a part of Friday Night Blitz. We hope to see you soon. Check out our Facebook page for our schedule next week. And for Ray Halbrook, all of us here at Livestream STL, thanks again for watching Friday Night Blitz Post Game Show on Livestream STL. We'll see you next week. Thanks for watching today's broadcast. Any unauthorized use of this broadcast without the express written consent of Livestream STL is strictly prohibited.